This next review I'm gonna go on is the end of the DC extended universe, or a little bit of a disappointing failed experiment, and that is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I'm very disappointed to talk about this, but this is not the worst movie of the year, but I'm gonna say it right now. This is the 16th and final film of the DCEU. This is, of course, directed once again by James Wan, and this is a sequel to Aquaman. It stars Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Nicole Kidman, Randall Park, Tamara Morrison, Dolph Lundgren, Amber Heard, and Martin Short. In this film, we follow Black Manta as he wants to get the power of the mythic Black Trident to unleash an ancient and malevolent force. And hoping to end his reign of terror, Aquaman forges an unlikely alliance with his brother Orm, the former king of Atlantis. Setting aside their differences, they join forces to protect their kingdom and save the world from irreversible destruction. Comes to the first Aquaman movie, I thought the original Aquaman film is great. It's not the best thing ever. It's very campy, it's very silly, but I enjoyed that first movie. Aside from a few issues being a bit too long, and then you had an actress that is very controversial, which I'll get to her. But I enjoyed that movie for the most part. So I was really excited when they were going to announce a sequel. I wanted to see what more they could do. And delay after delay after delay, this movie was getting pushed back and forth. And unfortunately, it wasn't really worth the hype. Is this a bad movie? No. Is it a great movie? No. At the end of the day, I find this to be okay, but to be a very disappointing conclusion to the DC cinematic universe. The things I don't like in this movie is I feel like the design, the villain in this movie gets heavily underused. I love Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. He's a great actor. Between the Aquaman movies and the 2021 Candyman movie and a bunch of other movies that he's done, I think the guy is a very good actor, and he is going to be playing Wonder Man in the MCU, so that's great for him to see that he's going to get to have another superhero character to play off of. This time he won't be underused. But him as Black Manta, while I enjoyed the performance and I enjoyed the screen time he has, he's not in this movie as much as he should have. When you have him wanting revenge against Aquaman, it's supposed to be Aquaman versus him, and he's not in the movie as much. He does go for the being over the top and being cartoonish, but I think that he should have been in this movie a lot more than what I thought he should have been. So definitely massively disappointing. I will say some of the comedy in this movie is not that great. Now, I know Jason Momoa was one of the story writers, but David Leslie Johnson returns. Some of the comedy compared to the first movie is not that strong. I felt this with Shazam Fury of the Gods and Flash, and with Blue Beetle. But at least the comedy in some of those movies, for the most part, made me laugh in terms of that. The performances here gets heavily underutilized. There's also no William Dafoe in this, unfortunately. So that is also another big mistake that they do take away from. So unfortunately, the effects in this movie are a little bit iffy. So some of it looks good, but some of the underwater effects don't look all that from some of the effects companies. So while it does look visually nice, there are just a few effects that are a little distracting, but it's not enough to take you out of the movie, because I still think the underwater moments here is still pretty awesome. So while I think Mirror is a very badass character and other things, and I want to see the potential for her in the James Gunn era of DC with a new actress and a new actor playing Aquaman. I cannot fucking stand Amber Heard in this movie. I'm sorry, you nearly destroyed Johnny Depp's career, and you think you're all that. You get cancel cultured, that's what you get. And 20 minutes of screen time, granted, she's in this movie less, but you still should have killed her off or something, or just recasted her with a different actress. So there's also a reason why no one really went to go see this, and why it's not doing too well because of Amber Heard's controversy. However, I love the costumes of Mira, though. That is one pro I do have to give. Even with the new DCU, with the new actress, the costumes, and hopefully the performance should be better. But what keeps this movie watchable for me is James Wan's direction and the action in this. They have to keep this movie afloat from being a sinking ship. Action in the direction does keep you invested. Is paced pretty well for the most part, especially because I definitely quite enjoyed what this movie gave. I really liked what this movie was going for, the direction, and I very much liked some of the performances, and the underwater scenes look great, and the adventure zone is good. The camaraderie between Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson does really good here, and I think that overall, pretty much exactly what you get in terms of it. Nicole Kidman was great. I think the rest of the cast is good. The score was good as well, and I thought the cinematography was really well done, and the effects were well done, and it at least came out despite all the controversy and it not doing well. At the end of the day, guys, it hurts me having to say this because Aquaman The Lost Kingdom, I was really looking forward to it, but as an Aquaman film, it's decent. As a comic book film, it could have been better. As a okay at best time, it's watchable. It's not great, but it's not the disaster that it's made out to be. But unfortunately, for the finale of this old DC extended universe, this should have been a lot better. And I personally feel like had they switched dates again, with this being the third film release, Blue Beetle being the second film release, and Shazam! Fury of the Gods being the first film release, and The Flash being the last movie to come out, it would have made it a much more decent ending to the DCEU. But now that it's over, I will do one last ranking of the DC Extended Universe. Can move on and get ready for James Gunn's DCEU, starting with Creature Commandos next year and Superman Legacy in 2025. At the end of the day, it's colorful background noise, but it's definitely one of the lesser tier comic book movies of the year. If you want to see this, you could wait to watch it on HBO Max, but this could have been something, but studio interference, a lot of mixed reactions, and a lot of audience reactions, unfortunately, kind of tanked this.
Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay Epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.